Every new year, a sense of tension curls up in my parents' hearts. I could see their faces suddenly getting worried, especially at this time, because every new year, my brother Ted comes home. Ted and I are twins, but we're different in so many ways. Though I always tried to love him as a big brother, he never treated me as his little sister. I don't know why, he just can't stand me. The doctors say it's because of his disease. I still remember it was a winter holiday. Ted and I were probably 5 or 6 years old. My dad and I were making snowballs in the garden when I heard my mom screaming. Ted didn't want to play with me, so he was in his room. Hearing her scream, we rushed into the house. We found her standing in Ted's room, panting in fear while Ted sat in the corner with a clueless face. The drawer of Ted's cupboard was pulled open.
"What is it, Mary? Why did you scream?"
She couldn't say anything. She was shaking in fear like she had seen a ghost. After being like this for a few seconds, my mom pointed at the open drawer. I too looked in, being curious and terrified at the same time, but what we saw in it wasn't something we expected. A dead rabbit was lying inside the drawer. The rabbit was placed onto a woolen scarf with utmost care, as if someone put it to sleep, except its head and body lay side by side. Yes, its head was cut off. That was the first time my parents realized there was something wrong with my brother. But it's been 10 years. Ted is under treatment now. The doctor said we don't have to be scared of him. They said he's shown improvement and he's ready to come back to the family. So this new year, my dad and I have planned something special for him. It was my idea because no matter how weird he is, he'll always be my brother. We were all waiting in the living room. Ted would be home any minute now. I had decorated the entire house. My dad and I made a banner that read, "Welcome home. It's time for a new beginning. Happy New Year, Ted." I was looking at the clock anxiously when we heard a car approaching our driveway. My mom rushed and opened the door. A blue van from Good Heart Mental Institution was seen standing outside our house. After a little pause, the car door slid open and Ted came out holding his backpack. He'd gotten a new haircut, more like the army men. He walked up to the house porch, and my mom hugged him in joy. "Oh, Ted, you're home! Finally! We missed you so much! I've made all your favorite dishes." Ted didn't say a single word. Mom brought him inside, and he stood in the living room silently, like before. Mom and Dad went on to say how extremely happy they were seeing him, but Ted wasn't paying any attention to them. He was scanning the New Year's decorations. His eyes stopped roaming when he noticed the banner.
"Did you write that, Martha?"
"Yes. Do you like it?"
"I don't know what I like anymore."
Our brief conversation made Mom dead quiet. An awkward silence took place inside the house. It was that same feeling again. That same feeling where Ted behaves weirdly and crushes the positivity around the house in a blink. But I'm not a kid anymore. I smiled and said, "Happy New Year, Ted. I missed you."
"You did?"
"Yeah, we all did. I even cleaned your room with Mom, and I promise you we didn't change a single thing in there. We wanted you to come back to your old room just how you left it."
"That means the dead rabbit is back in the drawer, huh?"
"Ted, don't talk like that. Why can't you be nice to your sister?"
"I'll freshen up. It's been a long time since I've taken a bath like a normal human being. You know, Martha, in that freak house, you can't even get to pee without being watched by a security guard."
Ted went upstairs, and we all just stood there. My dad caressed my cheeks and said,
"He's having a rough time, Martha. Things will be all right. I promise."
I smiled painfully because Ted's cruel words did hurt my feelings. When he came down, Mom started to set up the table for dinner. We all sat down to eat. The smell of such delicious food made me hungry. There was roasted pork, grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, corn salad, and shrimp rolls. Everyone ate quietly that night. After dinner, Ted went out for a walk with Dad. Mom and I were cleaning the dishes when we heard our neighbor's voice outside.
Charlie, it's late. Mom wants you home, boy. Charlie, where are you?"
We went to our backyard and saw our neighbor, Mr. Hoffman, looking for his 5-year-old son. "What happened, Mr. Hoffman?"
"Have you seen Charlie, Miss McGuire?"
"No, why?"
"He was playing right here the entire time, but I can't find him now."
"What? What do you mean you can't find him?"
"I called his friends. He didn't go to their house. I don't know what to do."
My mom suddenly looked at me with scared eyes. She stared at it for a few seconds, then said, "Call your dad, Martha. Tell them to come back right now." "Why, Mom, what happened?" Just do it! I dialed my dad's number while my mom started to walk upstairs in a very freaky way. She was taking each step slowly, like something frightening was waiting upstairs for her. After informing my dad, I followed her too. She walked to Ted's room and stopped there. Her body was shaking. I felt like she would pass out any minute now. What the hell is going on, Mom? You're scaring me now. Without answering my questions, she opened the door and we entered Ted's room. Everything was in its place, except the white bedsheet was missing. She slowly walked to the bed and crouched down to look under it. She then stretched her hand and pulled out the corner of the white bedsheet under the bed. What is that? There's something in it. I'm not... She pulled the sheet with all her strength, and as soon as she did that, a small, lifeless hand sprung out from that curled-up bedsheet. It wasn't difficult to guess that the hand belonged to a kid. Before we could contemplate this, my dad and brother came rushing upstairs and got shocked seeing our faces.
What happened, Mary?
Just like the previous time, my mom again pointed at the hand of that dead kid, and my dad looked back at Ted. We all looked at him with fearful faces. It was like history repeating itself.
No, Dad. I didn't do it. Mom, it's not me. Please trust me. Don't send me back there. I didn't do anything. I was innocent last time. I am innocent this time as well. Please believe me. Don't send me away again. I just came home. Please.
My mom started sobbing terribly. Hearing her cry, our neighbors came in, and we found little Charlie dead under Ted's bed. He was strangled with a t-shirt that belonged to Ted. There was nothing we could do. The cops were called and they took him away. I didn't expect Ted to get in such serious trouble. I hope the judge reduces his punishment, taking into account his poor mental history. The doctors regret their decision of letting him come back, but they said Ted is accomplished in faking normalcy. He behaved like he was completely sane. I don't know what will happen to him next, but I don't want him to stop visiting us forever. I mean, if he doesn't come home for every New Year celebration, how will I fake normalcy? It's not easy keeping all these exciting thoughts in my head from coming out. I feel a little bad for him, though. Since childhood, he's been bearing the consequences of my deeds. He is so gullible. He still doesn't realize it was me who killed that rabbit and put it into his drawer. My hands didn't hesitate for a second when I strangled that poor kid and hid his body under Ted's bed. I just hope my twin brother gets to visit us at least once a year, so that I don't have to pretend to be good for that one day.